Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for iFive for the iPhone is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
This episode of iFive for the iPhone is brought to you by Shutterstock.com. With over 42 million high-quality stock photos, illustrations, vectors, and video clips, Shutterstock helps you take your creative projects to the next level. For 20% off image subscription packages on your new account, go to Shutterstock.com and use the offer code iFive1014. Hello everybody, this is iFive for the iPhone, episode 113, and it's nice to see you all here. This is the show where we cover the latest iPhone apps and tips and tricks and, of course, news as it comes down the pike. I'm Sarah Lane, and I'm going to try very hard today to be your hero, baby, and to take away your pain, and to stand by you forever. All you have to do is take my breath away. Number 1. So how many of you have an iPhone 6 Plus like the one I have here? If you watch iFive with regularity, you know that I disliked it genuinely because it was too damn big, at least at first. Then I started to get used to the size, and then I started to prefer the size where now holding an iPhone 5S is like, what? Holding a grain of sand. It's so small I can barely see it. How did I ever use this? One thing though, it's never really gotten easier, is typing with one hand. Because, come on, I mean, let's do the math. I can't stretch my hands. I can't type one-handed, just can't do it. Do you feel my pain? Okay then, allow me to blow your mind and say hello to one-handed keyboard. It's a third-party keyboard that lets you install, and then you have to give it access in your settings to mimic the width of an older phone, what you're used to with your old life. iPhone 5, 5S, 4S, well, they were all the same width, right? You can align it to the left or to the right, depending on which hand you're currently holding it with. Then you can change the color of the keys, and that's about it. But that's all you need, it works great. It's a genius solution to the big phone problem, which I'm sure applies to a lot of iPhone 6 users too. I mean, you're still going up in size quite a bit. One-handed keyboard is $199 in the App Store and is 100% worth having, in my humble opinion. Number 2. So here's an interesting save from a company that almost got its app made obsolete by the design of the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. Remember Cycloramic? We covered it on iFive almost 2 years ago, and it was super, super cool. You stood your iPhone upright on a flat surface like a wood table or a countertop, and then the app made the phone vibrate in a way that it would slowly turn 360 degrees while taking video, creating kind of a hands-free panorama type thing. Now, I said at the time that it was a novelty, but an excellent party trick. It really impressed people. At least the first time that they saw it. Honestly, I was a hero. So here's the problem. The iPhone 6 and 6 Plus has a rounder design than previous iPhone models. You can't stand them up on their own anymore, even on a really flat surface. So the whole functionality of Cycloramic no longer works. Props to the company, though, for realizing that by using the power plug, which is included in all new iPhone boxes when you buy a new unit, if you don't have 4 of them lying around your house already, I have so many of these, you can prop your iPhone 6 up in landscape mode between the prongs and not only get your party trick back, but you get landscape video at a slight angle up, which kind of gives you a better result. Bravo, people. You are thinking outside the box, or actually inside the iPhone box. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Before you get too excited though, this is an iPhone 6 trick, not an iPhone 6 Plus trick. The Plus is going to fit inside there just fine, but it's too big and heavy. It'll sit fine, but it won't spin from vibrations. It's just not gonna rotate. And I tried it. I tried it even on a nice slick marble counter. It doesn't move. So, point to iPhone 6 users who can sit and spin. We iPhone 6 Plus users will just have to get huge biceps because of our huge phones. Number 3, would you pay $250 for a lock on the front door of your house that allowed you to open that lock with an app on your iPhone? If your answer is yes, you can buy yourself exactly that, a connected lock from a startup called August. The company's smart lock started shipping this week, so it's available now. And the idea is kind of like what Apple Pay is promising for people who hate carrying around a bunch of credit cards. Why carry keys if you can just lock and unlock your door with your iPhone? And even grant other people access instead of having to get spare keys made for them if they have to get in your house when you're not around. The lock connects to your home network via Wi-Fi and to your iPhone via Bluetooth. Now, if your phone runs out of batteries or you don't have it with you for whatever reason, you can still use a key, so that's a nice plan B since you're only replacing the inside portion of your deadbolt with the August lock. There is obviously some hardware to install here. But in a perfect world, you don't even need to open up the August app because it's using geofencing and will unlock a door automatically if you're close enough, if you ask it to anyway, even if you don't take your phone out of your pocket or your purse or wherever it is. Now, Android users don't actually have that feature yet, so iPhone users can sort of, gloat a little bit. The company does say that Android users will get that in another few months, the geofencing aspect of it anyway. In the meantime, you can give house guests or, dog walkers or anybody else who needs regular access to your home via the app using a schedule or a time frame. But they can't give out keys to anybody else unless you also give them ownership status to issue keys and control the app as well. Okay, you're saying this sounds great, but what about security? Can it get hacked? GigaOM notes that the registration process requires multi-factor authentication to authenticate the smart lock itself. Although if you stole somebody's phone and figured out how to get through a passcode, it would give that person power to unlock your house. Users can go to the August.com website and revoke a stolen device's authentication. And obviously, if you think about it, a wooden door with an old-fashioned lock could get beaten down too. So it's really a matter of convenience. How comfortable do you feel having this technology? Again, $250 per unit, but it's pretty handy, especially when your hands are full holding groceries, or in my case, large boxes of cat litter. This episode of iFive is brought to you by Shutterstock.com. At Shutterstock, you'll find the perfect image or video for your next creative project. Maybe that's your website that you're building or some sort of advertisement, a video you're putting together, any type of project that you need videos or images for. You can choose from over 42 million high-quality stock photos, illustration, vectors, video clips. Shutterstock sources images from all over the world, and many contributors are professional photographers and artists. This stuff is very high quality. Plus, Shutterstock is reviewing each image individually for content before it goes into the library. And they're adding 315,000 images every week. So when you visit, you're always bound to find something new. Flexible pricing, you can go individual image packs, you can go monthly subscription for the best deal, and you can download any image in any size and just pay the one price. You can try Shutterstock today by signing up for a completely free account. You don't need a credit card. Just start an account and begin using Shutterstock to help imagine what your next project could be like. With these high-quality images and videos, you can even save a few of them to a Lightbox and share with maybe your team members to review later. When you decide to purchase, use the offer code iFive1014, and new accounts will receive 20% off image subscription packages. That's Shutterstock.com, and get 20% off image subscription packages on new accounts right now by using the offer code iFive1014. Thanks to Shutterstock for their support of iFive for the iPhone, and thanks to you for checking them out. Number 4, we got an email from Terry in Florida who just got a new iPhone. Congratulations, Terry. But needs some help finding a good camera app. You really came to the right place. Terry writes, I don't do a lot of editing, but I mainly post to Instagram and Facebook. I know how much you love photo apps, so is there an app that brings everything together without having to bounce between the camera and other apps? Thanks. Yes. Definitely came to the right place because photo apps are my jam, but I don't want to overwhelm you with app choices because I get the feeling that that's exactly what you're trying to avoid, Terry. So, how about an app that Alex Lindsay told me about on MacBreak Weekly back when I hosted it in July? It's called Litely. And it's really a series of filters that you apply to any photo. Plus, there are extra filter packs that you can selectively buy on top of the free bundles if you want to go a little bit crazier, in-app purchases. Now, Terry also mentions that he or she, Terry, I don't know, you have a very ambiguous name, doesn't want to bounce between camera apps. And I know that overwhelms a lot of people. I like to layer them and get really weird results, but who's got the time? Here's a tip. While you're in the Photos app, so you've already taken the photo in your camera app, you can choose the photo that you want to edit. But if you want to go beyond what iOS gives you in terms of color correction, which is its own filters, but there's not really much going on there, hit the little ellipses button. And then you have the option to open this photo in Litely or other apps that you've also connected. So you do some filter magic, and then the changes will be saved in the Photos app itself. So they're talking to each other. It's really handy. Litely feels perfect for anybody who cares about a good picture, but just doesn't want a complicated interface. Give it a try. Finally, number 5. We got an email from Bruce, who figured out a Siri shortcut of sorts, and I'm not positive how helpful it's going to be for most of us, but I'm going to pass it along anyway. Bruce says that he had his iPhone plugged in and must have said something out loud that sounded enough like, "Hey Siri," that he actually activated Siri. Bruce writes, "I then must have said the number 33, for then Siri started giving me events from January 1st, 2033 to December 31st, 2033. You know, like in the future. I then tried the number 44 and it did the same thing, but for the year 2044. However, when I tried the number 22, it didn't refer to the year 2022, but instead thought I wanted to know if I had any events for 10 p.m. because that's military time, or 2200 hours. Same happened when I tried 21, 20, etc. Yeah, so I was actually able to replicate this exactly, and it's weird because I have reoccurring events in my iOS calendar that basically reoccur forever. So in the year 2033, Siri actually has stuff for me to do. So am I going to be shooting iFive in 19 years? You know, maybe I will. Let's be optimistic about my career, huh? But it's not really that practical of a Siri trick. Although, maybe if you prefer military time, some of the lower numbers come in handy as shortcuts, right? It's kind of a weird one, so thanks to Bruce for stumbling upon it. I don't know how you did it. And that's all for this episode of iFive, everybody. Hope you had fun. All of the apps and links and other information from this show and any of our other episodes is at twit.tv/iFive. You can email us ideas, questions, or feedback to iFive@twit.tv. Thanks for all those, by the way. You really help me do my job week after week. You can leave us a voicemail at 614 on iFive. And yeah, that's about it. I'm Sarah Lane, and we'll see you next time on iFive for the iPhone.